everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 9. We're at round 2 of the season, and we head to the Secure International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We were at Australia last week. We saw Charlie Harris take the win this week. He's back again tonight as reserve. Will anyone be able to stop him? Well, we'll have to wait and see shortly. My name is GeForce, and joining me in the commentary box, as per usual, we've got Mr. Evil Dragon, also known as Liam New. How are you doing tonight?
Maybe get a DLC for the Los Isles circuit eventually, but we're in Bahrain, first hosting a race back in 2004. Circuit has remained pretty much the same, apart from two slight outliers, which of course were the endurance layer from 2010, and in 2020 we went on the outer layer, which is just the endurance layout, cutting out the endurance-y bit, so it's even shorter instead of the longer version. But anyway, I digress. We've got 19 drivers, Jess. We've got a very close championship. Like we said last week, Charlie, who won the race, he is leading this championship, if memory serves me correctly.
Yep,
because he won last week, so there we go. I can count. In terms of constructors, now I'm going to go on a wild guess and say it's probably not Mercedes. Or Ferrari. I'm going to say it's Alfa Romeo leading the actually, no, it wouldn't be, because... Yeah,
Alfa
right,
Romeo scored no points, Liam.
It's not Alfa Romeo. Is it Alpine?
No.
Is it Williams?
I will reveal to you quickly before we go into qualifying. So the team standings for Tier 1, it is Haas on 32 points. Closely followed by McLaren on 30 points, 2-point gap. Alpine in third on 18, then we have Red Bull in 4th, Aston Martin in 5th on 10, AlphaTauri 6th on 8, Williams 7th on 7, Mercedes 8 on 6, Ferrari 9th on 2, and Alfa Romeo, the only team yet to score. We'll go quickly through the drivers' standings actually for you, as Charlie Harris won the race last week. He got 25 points. Harry B, 20 points. Mata in 3rd, 18 points, and we got Kieran on 15, Scott Bugner on 12, TL44 on 10, he's reserve. I believe, is he in tonight? No, but he's not in tonight, he can't make it, okay. And then we have Cam on 8, Flexi on 6, as well as Tony, because Tony got the fastest lap. Foxy Red on 5, Jinx on 2, Iceman on 1, and everybody else from Casper downwards yet to score. And I'll get the other page as well, just so it makes things more clear for you. There we go, that is there. So without further ado, let's get started with the Bahrain Grand Prix. Like you said, first hosted race in 2004. Luckily, we won't experience any rain, but we have seen custom weather play a part in games. I think we've seen in Abu Dhabi that it's rained in dynamic weather, which is quite surprising. So we could see here, but we'll have to wait. We've got quite a few reserve drivers. Of course, we mentioned about Charlie Harris. He's back again this week. He is in the Alfa Romeo, replacing Hyper this week, so he's teammates with Yarham. Then we got someone has gone off.
Jinx in the pit lane. He's retired.
Okay, Jinx is in the pit lane, and so Glowstick.
No Timo here today.
No Timo.
Timo, who of course served a qualifying ban for this event, isn't here, so that will mean his qualifying ban will carry over to the next race. And talking of cars going off, we have got a car off the road, and that J. Luke. He's dropped it at turn 7. Now that's such an easy thing. I haven't seen many cars drop it on this year's game around there, but there's the first car I've seen so far around there. Now, on the last couple of years' games, yes, that corner is very easy to catch a driver out, isn't it?
Yep, it is. And more on this game more than anything, because if you take that right-hand side curve like normal on the F1 2021 game to F1 22, you're going to end up spinning in a wall, as I found out in my team. And J. Luke is one of our reserves tonight. He is replacing... Let me have a look. He's in the Red Bull. He's replacing Casper, who I believe is on holiday. He's back tomorrow, I believe. But have a good holiday, Casper, even though it's probably your last day on holiday. But and any more reserves? I know Charlie. I think I mentioned all the reserves. Everyone else is full time. I think Shane is here tonight as well. We'll try and find someone who's just started a lap. But we got Flexi up to the line in the Mercedes. Didn't score too well last week. Up to the line. P3 for him, 128. Could we see anyone nip into the 127s, Liam?
Right, so it's possible. I'm aboard with Glowsticks. He comes through Sector 1 and, of course, winds himself down out of 5, 6, and then into 7. So easy to get the car rotated on that curb on the outside line, which you can see the Ferrari takes it quite nicely, does lose the rear a little bit. Now this is the corner coming up here, turn number 9. Will always, no matter what game, what cars, will catch a car out so easy just to smash the brakes, so easy to go and lose the rear end. Get on that curb, it's a one-way trip round in a circle. So we'll see what they do. The Ferrari does it relatively cautiously right there on his first flying lap to come up towards sector 3. Of course, pit lane on the right-hand side. Of course, that is the other pit lane on this circuit, which is pretty much just the opposite of the other pit lane anyway, because that's how it works. You come up the hill, that corner, another one with some catch drivers out. Purple sector 2 then for Glow Sticks. And well, you could see, Jess, he's glowing the timing towers up with his sticks right now, because there's two purple sticks for him. Harry B, meanwhile, is going to set the fastest lap of this race, so he's very purple. Let's see if Glow Stick can stick it on pole position, or has he been diffused? He very much has. Those glow sticks aren't very bright because he's down in 12th. I think that's all the puns I can do on glow sticks right now. It's not very, it's not lit the timing screens up.
He's lost some time in the final sector, Liam. I was watching on board because his first two sectors are very good, but he lost time in the final sector, which is a bit of a shame. So hopefully he can find some more time very, very soon as well. We had quite a few incidents from last week, and the reason why Jinx has retired in the pit lane, he has got a qualifying ban after not sending footage as required for the race stewards. So that is why he's got a qualifying ban, and he got 2 penalty points. So that's advice for any drivers that race in VSL. If you don't send footage if we require it, then you get a quality ban and 2 penalty points as well. Other instance as well, Scott got a 5-second penalty added to his race time from last week. He did blame himself for the incident, but Cam got stuck on the curb due to Scott's incident as well. And I think there was a few incidents for Timo as well, due to the fact he caused some unnecessary contact with driver in the pit lane, and he also was at fault for misjudging his braking point with an incident with Scott. And then he had an incident with Tony as well, which resulted in a qualifying ban. And then we had Philly, which sees a 10-second penalty from last week due to him readying up too early, which hopefully we won't get tonight, Liam, because otherwise they will receive, I believe, 10-second penalty and 1 penalty point, and then Tony received the fast lap, as I was saying earlier. Speaking of Tony, let's hope we have a better qualifying session than last week. He is keen to start on a high, really, to be honest, but at least he did score points last week. He did a good recovery. Purple sector 2. This is looking very, very promising for the Williams driver. He is hoping to get some wins this season. He got a win in Canada last season, and also in pre-season as well, when we went to Mexico City almost a month ago, believe it or not. Time does fly by when you're having fun. Anyway, Tony up to the line. That is P1, a 128.340, 1/10 quicker than Harry B. We got a Red Bull up to the line. That might be J-Luke. No, it's not J-Luke. He's backed off. It's probably his teammate going into the pits. Yeah, that was Kieran that's gone into the pits.
Rogers, Jess, on the lap time right now. He was 2 tenths up as I cut to him. Let's see what it is across the second sector split. 14 seconds down. So that's interesting stuff. He lost a lot of time somewhere, so never mind. J-Luke, like I said, coming in to the pit lane to finish him up. To set another lap time soon, and we've got Iceman on an outlap. We've got Matter on an outlap. I think the first car to get to the line to begin their lap time, I think, might be the Alfa Romeo Viatham. Of course, he scored 0 points last week. Of course, had some issues, was quite a few laps down, and he really struggled. I don't think he's a very quick driver, in my opinion. He's still got a chance in this title, but he needs to iron out these little mistakes which are costing him so dear. And I mean, looks so good so far for him. Let's see if he can get any momentum up. Purple sector 1 so far. So like I said, he's very consistently quick. No, for God's sake.
That was the biggest commentator's curse that I've seen in a while, Liam. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Evil Dragon.
Right. So, Jeff, what we've established, why do I speak? Literally, again, it's happened. Right. So, Johan, I'll adjust that. Not the most consistent guy in the world, lending it so he's at, because every time I say something, he's pointing the wrong direction. Meanwhile, Slenderman on lap time. He's currently P1, I might say. I've missed it right there. But Slenderman on P1, of course. A man who himself hasn't had the best season so far. He didn't really get a very good result last week. He definitely struggled. Got caught up in a few incidents, of course, and dropped down the order as well as his teammate Flexy. But this Mercedes team, Jess, is going to be a team that's hoping for some good results.
Yeah, because they didn't score many points. Obviously, their counterparts did a lot better in Tier 2 with the likes of Quinn and Davo. I think they're leading the constructors in Tier 2 as well. So hopefully that gives a bit of confidence for the Mercedes team to do a lot better and not get outshadowed by their Tier 2 counterparts. Because don't forget, Liam, the bottom half of the Tier 1 grid will be demoted to Tier 2 next season. So if you score bad in Tier 1, well, you're not going to be in Tier 1 next season without a doubt. So Slenderman, right on board with him as we make his way through the final corner. And no, he does not go make his way through the final corner because he's going to go into the pits because he has aborted his lap time. Now, Kieran, I believe, is on a outlap. Yes, he is on a outlap. We got an Alpine on a lap, I think, hopefully. No, it's not Matty. He's going through turn number 1 and he's just finished. So, yeah, I think it might be Pete, actually. No, it's not Pete. He's going into the pit. Well, I'm not doing very well covering on laps, really, am I, Liam?
No, I mean, it could be worse, Jess. You could have hyped someone up for the last couple of seconds for them to immediately go off. Meanwhile, talking of people who are going on lap times, Matter is on a lap time, by the way. He's 6 and a bit tenths up in Sector 1. And, of course, the reigning champion, because he won it the year before, well, the season before this last season. So, the former champion Matter, hoping for a recovery back through the order, and hopefully he can get some good results. He didn't have a too bad race last week, I remember. I think he was 3rd. I think, off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that one, because I definitely know he finished in the top 5.
You were right.
Yes, right. Look, I remember the standings slightly off the top of my head. As well, it is 5 tenths up in Sector 2 for Matter to come through here, and a little gentle on the power, just gently stroking like your favourite granny, and then just all of a sudden pummel it down into the last corner, pretty late. Chuck car in, and let's see if it stops. Yes, it does. Rear end says thank you very much, and up to the line. Hopefully for Mr. Matter, this is good enough for around about 7th place. It's not, it's 13th. So, not bad, not great. Meanwhile, Mr. Kibbo, let's see what he can do then. So, 12th for him. He was very much like 7th position or higher. Well, he's very much higher than 7th, but he's 3rd. And that indeed is higher than 7th. So, 128.3 for him, only somewhat 38 thousandths off of 2nd position. That is of Tony, who is starting a lap time for him. 2 and a bit tenths up in Sector 1 with 5 minutes to go on the clock. So Tony hoping to try and come back and regain that lap time, which has immediately been smashed by J. Luke. So 128.2 for J. Luke. Tony then was 2 tenths up in Sector 1. Let's see what he is in Sector 2. There's a few others cross line. Harry B goes up to P3 for him. The other hat crossing up to the pit line right now. And I think we've got an Alfa Romeo starting the lap time as well. That'll be Yarham as well. So Tony, the next car to cross lines. He comes up the hill to the highest point on this circuit. And let's see what Sector 2 is going to be for him. A 10th up again, so this looks relatively good. Might not be directly pole position, but it's not.
He's invalidated.
What? Stop it, guys. Stop when I say something going off the road.
There we go. So he's probably going to go again, it looks like, if he has enough EOS deployment. No, he doesn't have enough EOS deployment, so he's going to go in into the pit lane. So one of the Alpines is probably on a lap time at the moment, or probably about to start his lap time. Yeah, Speed Knighton is about to start his lap, and I think we got a Red Bull not that far behind as well. Or maybe not. No, both Red Bulls are probably going to go into the pits potentially as well. Let's see what Yarham can do. He's up in the first sector by a few tenths per second. He's got to find a lot of time to improve to get better in the middle sector. He's got to be, I think, at least 7 tenths quicker than J. Luke in order to get pole position. So this sector 2 has got to be absolutely mighty. His yellow flag as there's a Haas driver moving out the way, it looks like. Or he's running out of fuel. One of the two. Or it's just yellow flags for no reason, as Cam has retired from the session in the pit lane. But Yarham, here he comes in, final corner. A man, like Liam was saying, Kurt's doing quite a lot, and he also goes into the pits as well to set one final lap time. I think a lot of people are going to be doing that, so there's no point going on board and hyping people up, because otherwise that's going to happen. But Pete, the only man on circuit at the moment, and of course, a few drivers did not. Oh, now, you saying that you cursed someone? I was on board with Pete, and he suddenly spun. So,
I mean, to be fair, he's the only car on circuit. I mean, he gets all the attention. He has got all the attention. All the eyes were on him there, Mr. Knighton, as you spin around. Interesting enough, I could see his driver avatar was unghosted, but the car was ghosted. So that got an interesting view of the backside of Knighton there in the car, as his ghosted driver is hovering around, but he will come into the pit lane. That's going to be a quick turnaround then for the Alpine team. Get to slow down. That would have been a warning for exceeding speed limit. So we've got a few cars on circuit right there. We've got Aiden Rogers, Flexi, and Mr. Scott Bugner on lap times respectively. So let's see what Lowe's 3 can do right now as everyone comes out the pit lane. I told you it's a bit of a pain for Knighton. He can't get in the box, and this is going to have to be a really quick turnaround right now if he wants to get a lap in. 2 minutes 28 to go. So he's going to be coming out the pit lane very on edge if he's going to get a lap time. Indeed, if he can get a lap time. But Aiden Rogers, he'll be the first of the last runners to start a lap time in the Aston Martin. The, of course, Aston Martin Cognizant Formula 1 team, of course, came back last season after some 60-odd years out of the sport. Of course, ran in the 1950s, came back, of course, last year. Hasn't really gone too well for the Aston Martin team, of course. Last season, they had the carryover, of course, of the Pink Panther Racing Point Mercedes boy. This season, it hasn't really worked so far. They'll hopefully get on top of it next year with Fernando Alonso partnering Lance Stroll, which will only end well, I can imagine, for them. Replacing the retiring Sebastian Vettel, of course, which I suppose is a shame to see Vettel go, but for me, I think it's kind of a bittersweet end to a career that's really been curtailed by rather just poor performance, and of course, he'll still go out on a high, but nonetheless, let's see what Aiden Rogers can do. Can he go out in this qualifying on a high, or is he going to end up in a wimble like Sebastian Vettel? Well, so far, up in Sector 1, so proving just that he's definitely going a bit quicker. He got through turn 7, which has caught a few people out this afternoon. He's come through 8 up to 9 and 10, and let's see what the Aston can do. Down towards turn number 10. Late braking, 150 miles an hour. Don't cut the curb on the outside because it will unsettle the beast. And I say that. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. You see, what's happened there, Jess, is he's unsettled the beast. And now he's in the wall. So that's 3 for me so far.
That is commentator's curse number 3 for you, Mr. Evil Dragon. That is not good at all. Let's see what Shane can do as he's about to start his run as well. We got another reserve in tonight, by the way. Speed Josh as well. I know he's very quick on this game now, which is great to see. So welcome to the lead, Josh. And hopefully he can have a decent showing for his first appearance in the VSL community as well. There's been quite a few people that have been in VSL for donkey's years, to name a few. I've been in VSL since season 6 as someone has probably binned it somewhere or is moving out of the way. Probably moving out of the way. 4 temps up, Jess. Sorry to cut over you right now. Here's the next card. Oh, Josh is spun.
Josh is spun, so there's another one to our list of people we've murdered. Meanwhile, Flexi, let's see what he can do. Can he do a corner? Yes, he can do a corner. This is groundbreaking stuff for us today. He's done a corner up to the line. Let's see. This looks like a relatively decent lap time for Flexi. P4 for him. That he'll be happy with that one. Next across the line, we've got one of the Ferraris. Then 300ths up for him. That's Glow Sticks. He'll dearly love to get off the back row of the grid if he can. He's not going to do it. Stays in 17th. Next across the line, we've got an Alpina Matter. 5 temps up for him. Doesn't improve. 8 temps up. Actually does go up to 7 for the end. Across the line comes Slender. Crumbs into the pit lane. Does Slender. Next up, we've got Tony. He goes up a little bit, but not by enough. Next up, we've got a huge gaggle of cars across the line. Comes, I think that was Findy crossing the line. The Red Bull as well of J-Lu goes up to P1 then for J-Lu. That's a good lap time. Can anyone beat him? Shane does not. Next up, Yarham. He's a 10th up on his lap. And let's see, he would dearly love to give it on pole position. He will not. What can he do? Point backwards is what he can do. Actually, as he goes spinning around, as I say. And that's 4 right now. Crossing line, that's the McLaren, but he is backed up. His lap time is speed jisk and does not set a lap time. So, qualifying's not gone too well for us, Jess. There's 4 for me and 2 for you in our list of people we've murdered so far. But J. Luke on a very decent pole position, might I say. 28.222, some 22,000 ahead of Slenderman, who's comfortably just a couple of 9,000 ahead of Harry B. And the top 3, Jets, very close together, all separated by, well, in fact, the top 4 are all separated by just under a 10th of a second.
That is great to see as well, and I think I'm just looking at the chat right now as well, and Cam wanted to start at the back on purpose because he feels like he can't win in this league, so he wants to have a bit of fun trying to overtake some people and have some great battles, which is fair enough, because I know there's some people that may want to think that they're best in the race, and that is great to see. Well, the only way to go is up, Cam. So there we go. So he didn't bin it. He just wants to start the back on purpose. But anyway, your order then. J. Luke, your reserve on pole position, separated by 2/100ths of a second to Slenderman. Then is 3/100 of a second to Harry B in 3rd. Kieran in 4th. Top 5 separated by less than a 10th with Flexi in 5th. Then we got Tony, Matter, Josh, Yarham, and Iceman. Round up your top 10. Then we got Scott Bugner, Charlie Harris, Speed Knighton, Finley, Shane, Hayden Rogers, Glowstick, Cam, and Yinks. Obviously, Cam having a qualifying ban, and Cam opting to not set a lap time.
Yeah, indeed, so that's going to be qualifying dynamite. It's going to be quite interesting to see what they go through. Now, as long as no one readies up, Jess, immediately, we can go through the nice little middle bit.
We already done that.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, we've got 2 minutes just to wait, I guess, then. Well, I mean, what do we do now?
Well, we can talk about drivers to watch out for. Obviously, J. Luke had a great qualifying lap, but he always seems to be very unlucky in terms of race trim. Sometimes always gets involved in instances. Maybe this could be the race where this turns the corner for him as well. A few drivers obviously yet to score points. We got Slenderman, who was very unlucky not to score points. Finley as well. We got Yarham, who we cursed earlier. Sorry, Yarham. Pete as well was quite unlucky last week. Hayden, like you say, did not score points. Shane, I believe, missed last week, so he's here this week, looking to get his debut off to a great start as well. And then we got the newbies as well, Glowsticks and Josh to watch out for as well. Will they be able to challenge the guys that we used to be seeing at the front of the field as well? And can Harry B and Charlie carry the momentum? We also got Matter as well up there, Kieran as well. Like the change of the old guard could be interesting, but Matter having a much better start to the season than he did last season. Maybe he's turned the corner, and maybe he does not want to win the championship last season to help him have a good start this season. But Formation Lap is on. He is the lobby host, so he does get an unfair advantage, but he has promised us he's not gonna gain too much of an advantage. He's gonna back off a little bit and not warm his tyres up in a Formation Lap, which is fair enough. Like you want to make sure everyone has a equal playing field as much as you can, of course, but we'll see what tyres everyone goes on for today's race. It's mostly going to be mediums to hards or hards to mediums, but if you were the drivers, Liam, what would you start on, mediums or hard, or would you risk it and go for the soft?
You see, now, round here, the 2-stop strategy is very strong. The 1-stop, of course, slightly stronger. You'd imagine a medium to hard strategy will be the ideal around here, of course. But the soft, medium, soft is always a possibility if you've got the tyre wear to do. Bahrain, not a ridiculously hard track on tyres. It's around about 7-8 laps, if memory serves me correctly, for the softs. I think it's about 14 for the mediums, and I think 22 for the hard tyres. Don't quote me on that one, but that's what that's what the last time I remember. But knowing me, that's completely wrong. Luckily, Jess, the good news is no one's readied up yet, so no penalties right now. So everyone looks like they're all going to be nice and dandy and all good, which is lovely to see. So I think, if my maths is correct, in around about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 question mark, we might start.
Yay,
yes!
That was good timing, Liam.
That was perfect. There we go. Thank you very much. They listened to me there.
To be fair, the stream is a 20-second delay.
Yeah, and there we go. I guessed it ahead of time. So I am a wizard. I'm now right. My lottery. I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow. That's
yeah.
Not happen.
Can I use your predictive skills to choose the lottery numbers for the Euro Millions on Friday?
Yeah. There are some numbers in there, but we've got 5 cars on the grid, 1 formation lap, and we're underway. The Red Bull leads in your grid today. J. Luke is on pole position. Alongside him, Slenderman on the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Harry ahead of Kieran, Ellen, Flexi lining up in 5th. Tony alongside Matt ahead of Josk in 8th. Yarham in 9th ahead of the Iceman in 10th. Scott Bugner is in 11th ahead of Charlie Harris in 12th. Knighton alongside them in P13. Behind them, Finley in 14th ahead of Shane in 15th. Hayden Rogers lines up 16th. Glowstick in 17th with Cam 18th. And rounding out the back of the grid, it's Jinx in last. Of the 19 drivers, we're missing 1, and that car would be... I'm trying to figure out what team we're missing a car, actually. Right, hang on. AlphaTauri. Yes.
No,
yes, there is one.
No, 2 Alphas that we got.
Ooh. Cat talking about AlphaTauris, yes. And I mentioned AlphaTauri once, them immediately spun. Right. Foreshadowing.
McLaren. One McLaren is missing tonight, Liam.
1 McLaren missing, and that McLaren's on spun immediately, so there we go.
That's number 4 for you, 4 for me.
5 for me right now, I think. The McLaren didn't spin, though the AlphaTauri, which I mentioned, immediately didn't spin, so...
there we go.
Talking about, I thought someone lost their rear end again.
Speaking of AlphaTauri, Liam.
Yes, speaking of AlphaTauri, again, it's now been disqualified. This isn't going well.
No, it's not, but we may as well speak for our tyre choices, because I thought a lot of people would go for the hard tyres, but they're not. They go for the medium tyres, which, to be fair, is probably better because the hards have more grip towards the end of the race in the beginning. The only ones on hards are J-Luke, Knighton, Shane, Glowstick, Cam and Jinx. We got 2 people on the soft, which is Tony and Iceman. Everybody else is on the yellow striped medium compounded tyres. To be honest, I can't remember what I did when I did a one-stop race around here a few weeks ago, because I had a race around here. I think I started on hards, which I learned to regret, because I think mediums would have probably been better for me, knowing what other people did. But we are about to get underway.
Oh.
J-Luke is about to get to his grid spot, and there's a lot of trouble going on in the background. But Liam, over to you for the start.
Well, so Shane a bit of a spin as well. Cold tyre. Right, I said cold tyre, someone's a spun again. Right, guys, stop it. Please. Oh, another one's gone nearly at the background. Meanwhile, J-Luke lines up on pole position. Is everyone going to get in their grid slots nice correctly today? I think they are. Let's see, going down the rest of the...
Don't jinx yourself. Oh, no.
That's it. Well, 3, 4... Never mind. They nearly got themselves all in the grid. Last car on the grid. So half the grid's been disqualified nearly, but J-Luke on pole position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, but never stare, because here in Bahrain, it's lights out and away we go. It's a good start for J-Luke, but definitely a better start from Slenderman. As well coming through there is Harry B. And this is an awful start for J-Luke, in fact. He's been swapped. The 2 Mercedes there. The flyer in towards turn 1, and the 2 Mercedes lead then into turn 1 of Slender and Flexi. Phenomenal stuff from them. Harry B up into 3rd. Then comes Tony. Kieran in 5th. J-Luke's been left stranded there as a 3 abreast. Almost in the background down into 4th. They're going to get themselves stopped there. I think just about they are. So all of them just keeping themselves an arm's length away from each other. You've got Yarham and Scott Bugner, and AlphaTauri predictably has gone off in the background because I mentioned them earlier. And they're not going there, of course, them forever now. But you've got Yarham a few positions better. What a good start for there for the Mercedes pair then. 1st and 2nd so far. Harry B there getting a good start on those soft compound tyres like we presumed he probably would do. Kieran there down in 5th and J-Luke. Yellow flags there. Someone else has gone off. I think that might be Knighton, who's had a mistake down there into turn 8. Presumably getting on the curb Talking of cars that haven't had a good start either, the two Ferraris having a woeful start right now, down in 16th and 17th, whilst the Mercedes are flying. As well in the midfield, the Red Bulls line astern. Tony having a good start in the Williams, but like we said, Jess, the two Mercedes getting away exactly what they need to do as well.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, the camera couldn't cut to them very well, but I did see Slenderman have a very nice start, and Flexi was like, you know what, I want a piece of the action too, and it's great to see teammates working together in good harmony, as it were, because they want to really show what they could do, because they didn't show their full potential last week due to Flexi's spins, as Cam is in the pit lane. Not sure why and not sure how. It might be damaged, might be a new nose for... Yeah, it is a new nose for Cam, and he's on soft tyres, so he will have to pit later on as well. Let's see who has got, as well, the most positions gained. Hayden Rogers up 9, Scott Bugner up 3, Jinx up 5, so he started in the back, don't forget, because he had a qualifying ban. Shane up 2, Charlie Harris up 1, Tony up 2, Flexi and Slenderman up 3 and 1 respectively. Biggest losers, Matta down 8, Knighton down 3, Josh down 4, Jaded down 5, Kieran down 1, Finley down 4 and Cam down 1. So yeah, biggest loser has to be Matta, which is a bit of a shame there, but I was a bit shocked as to why Jaded didn't get off the line correctly. Maybe he was just struggling with his tyre warm-up, because don't forget, cold tyres off the start. It does take a while to warm up, and he is on the hard tyres where a lot more people on the mediums. Maybe because people on much softer tyres, it may have helped them a bit more compared to J-Luke.
Well, that's going to be the thing, Jess, like we mentioned earlier on. They're all starting on 70-degree tyres. Remember, of course, those hard tyres are going to have a lot less temperature around. They're going to feel like they've got a lot less grip because they're lower temperature compared to those soft to medium, which will fire up pretty quickly. Slender going fast right now from Flexley. Lendart Harry, DRS is now been enabled. So J-Luke really is going to have to try and stick with them. Meanwhile, Yaham and Iceman going battling down towards turn number 1, and that is the Mercedes-powered Williams getting past then the Ferrari-powered Alfa Romeo following suit. Meanwhile, the other Alfa Romeo comes through, and that is Charlie Harris on Yaham side by side. The two teammates down into 5, and late braking, a little bit forceful, almost hit. Oh, he has hit the rear end, and he's hit the rear end of Iceman. Now that isn't going to go down too healthy there for them, and they're almost free of breath on the exit. So Charlie Harris, a slight nudge on the rear end of Iceman, and I don't think Iceman's going to be too pleased with that one, because it was an ever so slight nudge. It was just enough so that it put him off again. Meanwhile, Yam, who got really caught up in that, has got no grip either. He's on the inside there of the McLaren, who gets on the curb and goes skating off the road. So immediately, Iceman then coming back on the charge past Charlie Harris. That looked like a relatively easier move. Then I think maybe potentially Charlie could have let him through potentially there, or that was just a case. Iceman suddenly got on those soft sides. Coming alive right now, we're on that 3. Meanwhile, battle for 6th, 7th and 8th position. Hayden, J-Luke and Scott Bugner all battling each other away. Top 2, the line astern, like we said earlier on, Flexi and Slenderman. I'm presuming between those two they might just stay put for the time being and not battle each other too heavily, knowing right now they've got a race to win and not to battle and go off the road. You've got the Haas not too far behind, and Harry, meanwhile, up the inside. They're talking of J-Luke battling away there with the car of Aiden Rogers. Aiden trying to go around the outside, almost free pressing towards turn number 1. And I think all of a sudden, Aiden Rogers' fight was going to get 1 position, loses 1 as well. Scott Bugner there with a very optimistic bit of driving. Meanwhile, J-Luke tracks later way, buddy. As he goes off the road, we're going to see Aiden Londron back up the inside. Yes, he is. Going to be a bit daylight into all his short, and that's contact, and that's going around. And that, unfortunately, was inedible from the very beginning. Dude, late 2 dive and straight around. And, well, unfortunately for Aiden Rogers, optimistic, but didn't really pay off. Now he's back down with his teammate, who's currently down in 16th position.
Yes, so the Aston Martin's not doing a good job at all, as Shane is trying to have a bit of a comeback with Speed 19 for 15th position. Don't forget, guys, if you're brand new to VSL, top 12 score points in races, and then obviously if you get the fastest lap inside the top 12, then you will get 2 extra bonus points, just like Tony did last week. That's why he also got 6 points. Talking of Tony, he's trying to make head or tail to try and get past Harry B. He's got to get past now, because it's not going to be very long before the soft tyres start to die. Don't forget, as we said earlier, the soft tyres could only last 9 laps, but we'll see what Tony can do. Kieran's right up the back of Tony too. This is a big DRS train from first all the way down to 5th. We'll see Kieran can launch up the inside. He doesn't. I wonder if the two Mercedes boys will be working together just a little bit more to help each other, because it is a 1-2 at the moment. It's not going to help in terms of pit stops for them because, well, they're both on the medium tyres as Flexi tries to launch it up the right-hand side into turn number 4. He cuts through very nicely indeed, and that is Flexi now into the lead of this race. Interestingly enough, Flexi's running a Lewis Hamilton styled helmet, which I kind of like. It's yellow. It's definitely yellow. It's not green. And we don't really want to talk about that, don't we, Lehman? Oh, speaking of incidents, we have a yellow flag. That is Glow 6, who's binned it.
Yeah, indeed. So the Mercedes pair switching around there, that looked orchestrated from my point of view there, because all of a sudden, Slenderman just opened the door up, invited Flexi through. So I think Flexi might have a bit more pace this afternoon right now. If I look behind them as well, you got 1, 2, 3 cars biting at the bits of them as well. So it's not going to be long potentially to see these guys battle. And I think Flexi in this race, like you said, already starting to pull a 5-10 gap. Now, what he needs to do, hopefully, is try and drag Slenderman along with him, of course, with the ERS, with the DRS, just pull each other along as well. Keep themselves in that kind of delta, and then you got to try and make a decision who's pitting when. Because, like I said, you got the 3 behind. These guys are all going to start battling with each other soon enough. And talking of it, there we go. There is Kibbo passing Tony, and of course those soft tyres starting to wear now ever so slightly on lap 6. But see, Tony's going to try hold on the outside. I think he probably will be better off backing out here. Indeed, he does so slightly. Pinched on the apex. So Tony there back down into 5th position. Kieran up to 4th. Harry in 3rd. But then we got to say those top 2 Mercedes line astern right now, just trying to work together and pull away. Meanwhile, Scott Bugner ahead there of the everlasting. So is Aiden's. Yeah, like I said, Aiden has had an issue down.
Another spinner, that's a Williams.
And that, Tony, do you know what I mentioned, Jess, about Tony a minute ago?
Someone else has gone off. That's J-Luke.
Oh dear. Well, it's all kicking off today, isn't it? Turn number 7. Anyone else want to have a spin at turn 7? I think they've got away with it right there. What about turn 8? They're going to be close. Ah, there we go. Someone half spun. That's Finley having a bit of a mistake up the inside. There goes Shane, and we'll be careful getting on the curb right there. And you're going to about just get away with it. That turn 7, Jess, is a nightmare here today. We've seen it a few times in qualifying. We see it here again. And you know what I mentioned earlier? Like I said, Tony's tyres were going off, and Tony immediately spun about 5 seconds later. So I'm going to take that as number 6. Right there for me.
Well, it's to be expected though, Liam, because of the tyre degradation. It's too high around this circuit as well. The track also requires a bit of low downforce down the multiple DRS straights as well. But there's also tight corners, heavy braking zone as well, which really punishes the soft tyres. So he's struggling a little bit. Meanwhile, Yarham is getting past Iceman into turn number 1. So Iceman is struggling on his soft tyre as well. I think we would expect the soft runners to go into the pit in around about, I think, either now or in a lap's time. I think they recommended lap 8 for set of the hard tyres, which we'll get to at the end just about. The hards last about 22 laps as well. As we still got Iceman very close to the Yarham, so it's not over yet. But we're watching Harry B very closely actually, because he is starting to really closing onto the 2 Mercedes pairs. If any of the Mercedes make a mistake, well, Harry B can pick up the pieces. He almost got the win last week. So Harry B got a better line into the braking zone of 10 then. But is he going to get the run into turn number 11? It doesn't look like it as well. Slenderman is using the DRS from Flexi to fall a 30. You can see they're definitely working together, which is what they didn't do last week. And I think they learned from their mistakes, and it's definitely helping them this week, as Tony up the inside of Speed Knighton up into 12th. Battle for the last point is steady at the moment. So we'll see which one of the Williams pairing goes into the pits first. Knighton has spun on those hard tyres. Not good. Yeah, no grip around there. Just too much power at rear end. Can't agree less with that statement. Must be careful here, as his tyres are going to be slightly warm. And remember, when you start spinning, they just stay warm, and you're really in a bit of an issue. Meanwhile, tonight, now look at this. Top 2 battling all of a sudden. They've switched repositions. So Slenderman now
ahead of Flexi. So these two now slightly battling a little bit. We're going to see them switch back around again. Or are they just going to stay put for the time being? They're going to stay put again. So these two just swapping and swapping ever so gently right now as they're trying to see who's got more pace in this afternoon's race. Harry B just sitting there, just waiting. He's going to have to try and make a pouncing move on one of them soon enough. Up for a lunge up the inside into turn number 6, but like I said, a bit too far back right now. The Red Bull just lining them up as well, and Garrett's driving really well right now, all things considered as well. He is, I believe, a reserve driver.
No, he's not. He's full-time, Liam, in the Red Bull.
He's full-time. Never mind. So he's been under the radar, to be fair. Talking of under the radar.
The sister team has spun.
Yes, it's the sister team which has gone off the road. Well, he wants to say under the radar. I have put the mega curse on them. It seems.
Yeah, it's Finley that's had a bit of a spin, unfortunately.
I mentioned them having good times, and now they're just not having good times at all. Because they're in 17th and 18th position and are probably going to attack me later on. Meanwhile, talking of teams that are not having a bad time, it's the Mercedes and it's the Haas team. Currently first and second and third and fifth for the pair of them right now. Are we going to see anyone try and think of a potential move for an undercut soon? I think it's a bit too early right now. You've got to just wait and see who's doing what. And is anyone going to think of any lunges of the top guys that are too far back? Further down the field, have we got any potential for a lunge? The line of stern right now. Charlie and Yaham in 6th and 7th. Matter ahead of Jeska in 8th. J. Luke is up in position as in comes Tony on those set of soft tyres for presumably a set of hard compound tyres. I'm going to presume they might go on the mediums, however. Let's see, is it a hard set of compounds? I think it is a hard set of compounds.
Same as what his teammate Iceman did a lap ago, because he pitted as well. Because you can't really pit at the same time, the Williams pairing. So one of them did it the first lap, one of them did it a lap before. So there we go. So Johan chasing, did a bit of weaving on his tyres there. So I wonder if he lost a bit of temperature in them, or maybe he's struggling a little bit on the braking zone in towards 10. He's used a bit of VRS, probably because he's stuck in this battling. And if I were you, Yaham, I would do what Charlie and Scott are doing. Save the ERS and only use it when you need it. Don't really use it on the corners.
Yeah, it just seems like there's a bit of an issue right there for Yaham as well. He's struggling with grip on the exit, it looks like. So that's why he's been a little bit squirmy on the throttle. Has had a few twitch here and then. Those tyres aren't going to be up to Nick. Talking of tyres that aren't up to Nick, it's Aiden Rogers who is in the wall at the exit of turn number 10, and he is dropped it on the so he's dropped it on the outside. He's gone into the inside wall, not heavily it looks like, so I think he might have got away with very minimal to no damage potentially. Up front, still top 4, line of stern still as they were just a few laps ago. The two Mercedes leading this race. Talking of that turn number 10, Jess, there's another one, Finley, and the woes for AlphaTauri really are just continuing on right now as the other one goes straight on as well at turn number 10 nearly. So it's not going well, and those two are going to get lapped soon enough. And Aiden Rogers again having issues. Those tyres are cooked, and we saw this last week when we saw Yaham having all these issues. And when you start spinning, Jess, you just can't stop spinning, can you?
Yes, as I found that in my team a few months ago when I was playing the game for the first time, which is very, very frustrating, not gonna lie. But anyway, lap 10 of 29 so far, and it won't be that long before we see people going into the pit lane as well. Quite a few moments that we've seen in Bahrain in the past. Jules of the Desert with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg 2014, 2008, where Kubica got himself and Sauber's early pole then as well by just 200ths of a second faster than Felipe Massa, and Hayden's out the race, so safety car. Yeah, that's good timing. That's good timing for Slenderman. If it was a few seconds earlier, that wouldn't have been good, but Slenderman, they had no choice but to come in. Hards can get to the end, so if I was on the medium tyres, I would come in. If you're on the hards, well, that's probably screwed your strategy right off, and it also screwed if you're Finley Liverpool, because he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding there, so he probably wasn't paying attention. So Johan interestingly stays out. That is not what I would have done, Jinx has stayed out as well, because I think I've seen a few of the hard runners come in. It's an interesting strategy. If you started on the hard and the safety car came now, which is what the drivers have to contend with now, what would you do? Would you go on mediums or would you have to stay out?
Hey, you got an interesting point right now, Jess. I mean, depends how his tyres are and depends when he stopped, of course. He has been on those tyres, I think. Yeah, he stayed out on those tyres from the start, so I think it is a strategic gamble to see if they pay off, of course. I mean, it might do. I mean, we've got, what, 19 laps to go in this race? They are possible for the hard tyres. They, from what I remember, last between 22 and 25 laps. So they really can stretch it. Of course, we're on the safety car as well, so that's going to slightly help the tyres. But if Yarham could stretch them a little bit and hope for another safety car later on, he could come back into this race. But really, this is not a very good strategy call for the top two. Neither has it been for Knighton as well in 7th. He is on those hard tyres, so he can go the distance as well as Jinx. So if you're on the hard, you might as well gamble for it and then stay out. If you're on the medium side of car in the pit lane, if I was them. And so that's a slight strategic blunder. But let's see if it pays off for them just later on in this race. But it is, of course, like I said, it's now a Ferrari technical 1-2. It's the Italian Ferrari. Well, I said the Italian Ferrari when there is literally an Italian Ferrari called Ferrari in 2nd position. Though I suppose Alfa Romeo used to more kind of be. I think that was Fiat that used to own Ferrari. Never mind.
Don't forget, Alfa Romeo used to be Sauber for quite a bit.
Yes, which is Swiss.
We had that debate on Saturday, Liam.
Yes,
if it's not an Italian track, they're Swiss.
Yes, so they are Swiss. Though if it's a German track, we can call them BMW Sauber. But there isn't any German tracks on this game, so yeah.
That's a shame. I want Hockenheim to go back in the F1 games.
Now,
because
what's happened here? Why have they dropped back so far from the safety car all of a sudden?
Oh, the Delta glitch, Liam. The Delta glitch. You experienced that on Friday. Yep, the Delta glitch.
Well, I was talking about the race leader dropping back, more or less. He's got back up to him now, but he's staying relatively far back from the safety car. Doesn't want to go up near it, and fair enough, he doesn't want to go near it. He's scared of the safety car.
I hit it once, and I didn't get disqualified.
Yeah, you can hit it sometimes. It is flashing green and all of a sudden not, so it's speeding up and slowing down. So, a little bit
very odd. It's probably because obviously Yarham is not too close to the safety car. You want to be close to the safety car, because otherwise the safety car will be out longer than intended, which is not what you want at all, and it would cause a bit of issues. So Cam comes in to the pit lane. I wonder if he's going to go onto a set of the medium tyres. Yes, he does, which should get to the end. I think that is brave. Let me just check how long the mediums last again, Liam. It is 16 laps.
50 to 18 laps.
16 to 18 laps. So there we go then. So it might be okay, it might not. Knighton has dropped it. And so
yeah, he's suddenly got penalty, Jess, I think.
Pardon?
Oh, that was close.
Oh, is this an illegal, what is going on? This is an illegal overtake on the safety car?
Knighton there, I think, misinterpreting the speed deficit between him and Scott. Now, this is something you see occasionally. And I remember, of course, 2012 Abu Dhabi comes to memory. That was a incident with Ricardo and Vettel that day, or as I'm always going to call him Vettel, because that's what I always grew up on. It is Vettel, but Vettel just sounds more fun.
I think that's what Coulthard said, Vettel.
Yeah, Vettel, and that's what Martin Brundle used to say as well. Or Wettel, as they once called him.
Oh, God.
Or Baby Shimi, as he was once penned many years ago. Now Baby Shimi is on the grid, literally.
Yeah.
And, what's going on here? Knighton into the pit lane. I think he's had enough of those tyres, yes? I mean, he has not stopped yet, so instead of medium tyres, we'll probably
he's not going to lose that much, because he was near the back anyway, so he was probably waiting for the prime opportunity to pit. And you know what? He thought, go on to those mediums. It will be more durable than the ones we pitted a few laps ago. 29 minus 13, 16. It will get to the end comfortably because of the reduced safety car pace. So he's probably timed that quite nicely. I think he's still going to be ahead of Cam. Yes, he is. Question is Knighton going to catch up? I think he will, so he should be fine. And we'll also keep an eye on fuel as well throughout this race. Ignore the red light for everybody, because I have that when I race as well. It goes away afterwards, so don't panic, guys, as well. Let's believe only 3 people yet to stop. Everyone else has done their stuff. If I was glow stick, I would have done the same to what Pete had done, and I would have pitted under safety car as well, but obviously not. He thinks there could be another one, and I'm sure there's quite a few people that have some softs, have at least one soft save. But if I was Josh, he doesn't have any soft saves, so he's in a lot of trouble. But for others, they may figure out the safety cars in order. They could go on the softs to the end later on in his race with lap 21, lap 22, which I did in the past as well. So Jarham that leads, Jinx in P2, but it's Slenderman, your net race leader, Harry B, a net P2. Kieran could be on the podium, which could be very impressive. He got quite a few wins last season, didn't he?
Yep, safety car in this lap, as I foretold in my prophecy of memory. Jarham, I think you mentioned a second ago, yeah, he was very good, but like I said earlier, Jess, very, very consistently inconsistent. But meanwhile, the Ferrari team having a strategic blunder. I've seen this from somewhere. Both of them staying out, everyone else has stopped. So that's, I think, a bit of a blunder. But we're going to get ready to go soon enough. Remember to keep your delta and your speed not too slow. Don't slow them down too much and speed up and slow down, which I think Jarham might just have got themselves there. So he's ready to go. The field bunching up pretty much. And now he's gone and bolted, and away we go. Then Jarham gets a very decent stop. Right now, following Len is Slenderman. He's got Harry B right up his chuff. Is Harry going to have a lunge up the inside out towards turn number 1? He's going to think about it, but and can't quite do it right there. Meanwhile, talking of lunges up the inside, goes Charlie Harris. He's taking no prisoners, but neither is the rear end taking any prisoners. He goes spinning around on the exit of the corner, and no grip for him. He went from hero to absolutely zero in his space 2 seconds. He pulls straight across to the front of Shade, and somehow gets away with it right there. Now to the outside, he's losing positions now. It's Charlie Harris. It was looking for good. Now he's going backwards. Off goes one of the Ferraris then, and that is Glow Stick going around. He's not having a good start either. I said Ferrari should have pitted. They did not bite to it. It's off the road. Goes Shane up the inside then. Goes, oh, that's a bit clumsy there. Twitching on the rear end just Charlie Harris, and straight into the side of the Aston Martin, who might try and come back through, but on the outside, the Alpine there can try and come through. Can't quite do it on the exit. Yellow flags, and now off goes Josh. He's gone around as well at turn number 10.
Someone else has gone off, but actually no, I thought someone else went off. I thought it was a Haas that went off, but I think now A-OK. It's J-Luke. J-Luke's got past Flexi.
Yeah, Flexi's not getting these tyres up to temperature so far. He's on those hards. They are biting in so far. The top 2 are currently got slightly warmer tyres. Meanwhile, Lunacy's got Bugner try and think and move up the inside, or warming their tyres up for the time being before their first real attempt in an attack down into the first corner. Less lap. This is the opportunity that really will present itself. The field slightly spread out. The 2 Red Bulls, meanwhile, not going to battle each other too much. Kieran holds the outside line, letting J-Luke pass. Break slightly earlier as well for him. In fact, a little bit too early, because almost the Mercedes red straight creaming up the inside. Meanwhile, talking of battles, we've got Matter battling away with Charlie. Yellow flags as Josh is now out of this race, and he's retired in the pit lane. Yellow flags in turn number 1. I think Tony might have had a mistake down there as well, because he's dropped quite a long way back. Indeed, so a mistake potentially for him, but Charlie really not having the start he was hoping for right now. He's down there in 10th position, still in the points low. He might not be 10th for long, because Iceman will be chopping at the blocks any second now. But top 2 as they are, it is Johan from Jinx. Slenderman, who's pretty much led from start to now, is still technically in your net race lead, not counting any issues later on. Now, tell you what, Jazz, these top 2 are going for a set of soft tyres.
Soft tyres? I think they could be, you know. They had to wait until lap 20. Now, Jinx can do it. Jinx can do it fine. But if I was Jarham, I would be saving for England. But he probably won't be, because he's got Jinx and Slenderman right behind. So, let's hope he can have a bit of tyre management. I did say in one race, I think it was on Monday in Spa, that, yeah, they will go on medium to soft, no problem, or hard to soft, no problem, and then they went on to a different tyre, and I kind of jinxed myself there. So Let's hope that they go on the tyres that we said they will go on, because otherwise I'll be proven wrong and I wouldn't like that. But anyway, Jinx is out of DRS of Yarham then. So Yarham's pulling away, knowing that he's got to save his tyres later on in the race. You can see the ERS blinking light on Jinx, so that will give an opportunity for Slenderman. Look at Slenderman's DRS, Liam. He's been saving a fortune of it. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to push too heavily on the ERS. He doesn't really need to push too heavily either. If he can try and get Jinx, then that will definitely help him in this race. He has Harry B behind him. He hasn't got his friendly neighbourhood Flexi to assist him right now. So that's going to be a intriguing strategy in this race. But like you said, with Jinx, he's got no ERS. Neither really is Yar. Both of the Ferrari-powered cars have used all of their ERS, whilst the likes of Slenderman, Harry, J. Luke, and Kieran, as well as Flexi, have got quite a bit, though not as much as Slenderman. Like we said, he's just taking the more scenic use of the ERS right now. Don't use it when you don't need to. Just sit back and relax. Know the race is coming to you still later on. Glowstick with a time penalty right now. Is it in? Comes the lead? No, doesn't. I thought for a second he was coming in right there. So
Slenderman going for a move on Jinx on the fresher tyres. This could be make or break for Slenderman down towards turn number 1. And this could be for the actual lead of this race very, very soon, because Yarham is on the medium tyres. Almost certain Slenderman is going to get Yarham soon, but he's got past one of the cars who hasn't pitted yet. So will it be the second soon? I think I saw someone else go for a move lower down the field as well.
Iceman and Cam was battling Jess.
Cam is up to 11th. See, Cam is doing a good job despite him pitting. Who's made a mistake?
Jinx has made a mistake, Jess. Somebody cut over you right there, but Harry B couldn't get through. Oh, he's going for it! That's brave up the inside. That's not going to work. It isn't going to work. He's hitting the rear end of him, and now he's going to have to open all the traction in that car, because all of a sudden, on the inside, that's not work, my friend. You've hit the wrong part of him nearly. And then see outside versus inside. It's going to be a drag race, mediums versus hards. And this is just helping Slenderman to absolutely a treat right now. It's J. Luke down the inside into 11, who's going to squeeze him wide as fair as he does. And there, Harry, that's not worked trying to get past Jinx. He tried to go for an audacious lunge. It's just not paid off because he lost the rear, tapped the side pod of Jinx. Rear end just squealed out in agony and almost half spun him round, as now Yarham has, I believe, led Slenderman through. Slenderman got a mega exit out of the last two corners because he leads this race. Deer is now activated for Yarham. Let's see if he comes back through, but I don't think he's got anything to try and challenge it down into turn number 1. Indeed, he's not. Meanwhile, J-Luke going to go around the outside of Ferrari, who locks up, loses the rid of grip, but just about keeps it on the island. Again, meanwhile, up the road, you can see Yarham really struggling. And now Harry B finally is going to go for the move up the inside. This time, doesn't work. He's squealed off. He's forced the Ferrari wide. Now, all of a sudden, the other Red Bull says, I might have a piece of this. And here goes Kieran to try and get another position. Can't quite work. They'll have the Ferrari on the outside. He gets a little bit squeezed off. Not as much as the hat in the background. There's now more contact. Yellow flags now flying in the back on a big
gone off, Liam.
In the house has had an issue, but all sorts of carnage right now. Harry B has had about 5 or 6. A little bit of contact.
Jinx has had a bit of a moment there. That's allowing Flexi to gain him on again. And if I was Jinx, I would come in now. I think the danger of him staying now for a few extra laps is not helping his cause at all. Yellow flag, that is Glowstick once again then on those mediums, trying to get his tyres up to temperature, unfortunately. So yeah, the ones who have stayed out, well, they have been in a disadvantage, and the ones who appeared on the safety car is really going to help them at the moment. Slenderman still leads. Yarham in second, but needs to pit, so J-Luke will be in a net P2. I'm not going to say things too much because I'm worried I might jinx him at the moment. As we're seeing Yarham in the pit. Kieran and Harry B are going to be fighting then with J-Luke. That's going to be an interesting sight to behold. We also got Flex as well. Mata making his way through the field. Same with Charlie, they're having a little battle. It's nice to see mini battles happening at the moment. Now, bit of a risky strategy. I don't think the tyres are going to make it. Flexi! Flexi's off! Flexi's had a bit of a moment in turn 2. No, that is not what you want to see. He was doing, really trying to fend off the likes of Kieran, Harry B. earlier on. Now he's down in 11th place. Now, I don't know why Yarham and Jinx went for the softs. It doesn't last 11 laps, but we'll have to wait and see. You never know. Those two could prove us wrong, and if there's a safety car, they could be brought right back into this. But what could have been a Mercedes 1-2, it's now a Mercedes 111, and this is turning out to be probably the most exciting races for Slenderman's point of view. Is Iceman, glow sticks out,
last corner, and that
safety car. That's good for Yarham and Jinx. They're back in this race now.
Yeah, so safety car deployed. Out goes glow stick. Ferrari's misery really comes into flourish right now as one of their cars out in this race. Meanwhile, I must say, Cam's driven a fantastic job, meanwhile, on our third stop. He's now up into 7th position, coming back into this race. But now everyone is going to be in for a set of soft compound tyres, apart from Slenderman. He stays out of this. He stays out in the lead. In comes 3B. The rest of the field comes into the pit lane. None of them crossing the white line, which is good to see.
They've learned from your message, Liam. They've learned from your warning.
Yeah, they definitely have.
It's not that hard to not cut, in a way, isn't it?
Well, you say that. It's quite easy. Depends how late they decide to come in. But they're all deciding to stay.
Yeah, as long as they don't come in late, they should be absolutely fine. But it looks like everyone is behaving themselves a little bit.
Yarham's going to come out right in this one, isn't he? Now, look at that. He's going to come out ahead of Harry B.
And J-Luke's ahead of Yarham, though. So J-Luke has timed this absolutely perfectly. He's the only one out of the ones who just pitted to take a full advantage of this. So it's the ones on the softs. J-Luke, Yarham, Harry B, Charlie, Cam, Jinx, Scott Bugner. The tyre's going to be almost dead towards the end. But bring it on for the first few laps. I don't know what I would do, because you can't really do anything now because the safety car has caught up the leader. So, would you put your money on J-Luke winning this race, or would it still be Slenderman, or would it be the likes of Iceman and Knighton in the two Alpine cars? Let us know in the comment section or in the chat who you think is going to win. Massive shout out to Cass, by the way, who's watching in the chat. Timo as well from their holiday destinations. I'm very jealous right now that they're on holiday, whilst it's to be honest, we're in a heat wave as well here in the UK. You did predict, Liam, that there was going to be a heat wave this week in the UK, and it is. Temperatures reached up to 29 degrees in where I was today. It's probably going to be 31 degrees tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to at all. But Slenderman getting heat into his tyres. Finley, it's going to take a while to catch up. Same with Tony. So at least one advantage of having two tiers, Liam. At least we don't have to commentate on two Tonys. We could call Tony and not Tony the second. So that is good, isn't it?
Maybe he is Tony the second and the other Tony is Tony the first. Who knows? Is it interchangeable? Is whoever finishes in the higher tier Tony the first? Or is it...
I think Tony the first is whoever's in the higher tier.
Oh, so it's not the first Tony who is here. There we go. We're the Tony segregation. Here we are.
There we but anyway.
Wild, yes. The interesting thing here for those soft tyre runners, likes of J-Luke, Yarham, this is actually going to play into their benefit slightly more longer this safety car stays out, because remember, it's a 2-pointed edge right now. Longer it stays out, the better it is for the tyre wear, but less opportunity they get to overtake cars. Because what we've got 8 laps to go in this race-ish. 7 laps. So it's not long. There's not a lot of this race still to go. These tyres will make it if it comes in this lap, which I think it should do if we're not mistaken. Yarham's going to be hoping. Yarham's going to be hoping for a good thing. Harry B. Charlie's going to be a man on the mission. We've got Cam on those tyres. We've got the likes of James and pretty much everyone on those soft compound tyres, apart from your top 3. Top 4, actually. 5. My apologies. 6. My apologies on the harder compound tyres and the mediums respectively. So that's going to play into dividends right now for Jelly, because he's going to have to get 1 car per lap. That is going to be a big task. Flexi is going to be kind of playing Slenderman's fiddle right now. If he wants to help his teammate, he's going to have to try and hold off.
Flexi, he's hit the back of Knighton a little bit there.
Yeah, I think he might have done. Safety car is in this lap and probably wouldn't have done him any damage, to be fair.
No penalty, though, so I think they were A-OK.
Yeah, they're going to be okay. It's probably just a little bit of bunching up right now as you get ready to go for the final time in this race, potentially. There might be still a chance for one more safety car.
You spoke too soon, Liam.
You've spoken too soon, but we'll go for it. Kieran hoping for his first VSL victory. Slenderman hoping for a return.
Kieran has already had a victory at VSL, my friend.
He's hoping for his first victory this season in VSL. So is Slenderman, so is Matter, who hasn't had much luck, but we are back racing and talking of Matter. He hasn't really got much luck on that restart, because here we go then, all of a sudden, back racing again, and it is Slenderman leads this way then from Kieran. Matter alongside then, he gets ahead, down towards turn 1, the other Alpine though goes skating on into turn 1, and that's a different postcode for them as they all get buzzed up, and oh no! Contact there, and there is all sorts of trouble. Flexing, there's old Mayhem down in the back there. Ferrari round, Charlie Harris off, Jigs off as well. And that might be a safety car, potentially straight away up the inside, like a bandit out of the blue. All of a sudden comes Harry about a front breath. Other car, another 2 cars off the road there. Jay Luke involved in this, surely it's going to have to be a safety car right now. So many cars off the road. This is absolute chaos right now in this mid-pack as they're all going battling. Look at this. They're all getting their elbows out. None of them keeping on the circuit. 1-2 cars off. Tony squeezed out. And all of a sudden, off goes Flexi. Again, he's having an absolute nightmare right now on this restart. But drama, J-Luke involved of incident. Yaham off. Charlie Harris off. Shane's had an issue, Flexi's had an issue, Scott Bugner has had an issue, so is Harry B. He's got no nose, so he's going to have to be really cautious of this one. This has thrown this race on its head because all of a sudden, the drivers we thought could be in a potential of winning this race, they've all got damage.
Yeah, and I think maybe they were just over pushing it because they were on the soft tyres potentially as well, and feel like that they could get past the hard runners. But if I were you, just staying patient would be the good thing, as I was seeing Tony, who's taking advantage of all this, trying to go. How is Harry still going with no front wing? Harry's still going with no front wing. That'll be black and white flag.
Brett in the background there as they're going to go side by side, but between the 3 of them there, that is the Mercedes Power Williams and the Hassler just about holding on to this one, but this is getting a little bit risky right now. If I was them, we've got cars with damage then trying to go battle, and this is always going to end in contact eventually. Something is got to give here eventually, because these guys should be pitting right now with the damage they've got. Look how slow Harry B's going, and he's forcing Tony off the circuit there. Tony's going back up the inside. There's a lot of contact. That there was a little bit naughty. Shane's off the road. This is going a little bit messy right now between these guys. As now on the outside.
Harry needs to box.
Yeah, Harry needs to box right now. He's got no nose and he's really just being a little bit aggressive right now. Off goes another car in the background. That is Shane. And now we're going to see the 2 AlphaTauris go either side there. And that's a brave maneuver. They both do it from the outside of them. That was brave and optimistic, of course. Harry's got no nose and he's really getting pushed around the back there, and a tear up the inside goes Flexi, and now Harry has no real opportunity. He'll probably pit now, but I don't know why he's not stopped. Meanwhile, Shane's in the wall, and there's so many cars, Jess, with damage in this race. This has been an absolute calamity.
I think the stewards are going to be very, very busy, I think, by the end of tonight with all those possible incidents that are going to come into the steward's office, but
Harry stayed out.
Harry stayed. This would be was it a black and orange flag? Yaham's out the race.
This race now, is that going to be another safety car? We have got enough opportunity for it to be one. If one is called, that would be a nice saving grace for some. Let's see if there is or not. New Zealand coming
no safety
the outside. They're braking on the outside of Scott Butler, who again just gives them each other enough room and stays ahead. But Yaham continuing his luck of form right now. Another DNF. Meanwhile, Cam round the outside of Scott Bugner, and let's see if he gets a job done around the outside right there. Give each other just enough room, and up the inside goes Cam, and that is nicely done this time around. So all nicely done for them as Flexi wants a piece of the pie and ends up rear-ending the poor old bugger of Scott Bugner as well. So that's not too bad, but I think they're all just about keeping each other on the island. Both Hasses, by the way, with damage to the pair of each other's cars. One without a front wing, one with half a front wing.
Yes, I think, I don't know, or maybe it's a visual glitch, Liam, because
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. Meanwhile, Tony the first
dropped.
gets past Speed Knighton, then up to 5th. He's trying to use his soft tyres to full advantage, but
look at
Mata. He's going to try and get Kieran up the left-hand side into turn number 1. Can he take the late risk and go for it? Kieran comes to the right. They got to leave each other space as they head towards turn number 2 then. I'm looking at Mata's ERS. He's got plenty. So is Kieran. So this could be even Stevens then as we head towards turn number 4. Late on the brakes once again as they head towards the right. Anders! Oh, we got a spinner from Mata. I wonder if he was a bit too greedy. I don't know.
The bottle has bottled it yet again, Jess, as we'll keep saying it. Mata, who often he says he has bottled so many chances, he's gone around yet again in this season. He was finished 3rd in the first race. He was hoping this could be a line of fortune for him. It's not worked. Now at the inside, he's getting sent by Flexi, who's taking a dive. But poor old Mata, who's having a torrid couple of seasons right now, is on the outside, goes off the circuit again, goes too deep. Thank you very much, says Mata, says Flexi, and Mata drops down another position, down to 9th. And what torrid luck for the former champion.
Yes, I think every time we say that Mata has a good race, he ends up binning it. So we didn't talk much about Mata last week, and he had a good race. So at least we know what to do next week, Liam. Not talk about Mata. Meanwhile, speaking of drivers that didn't do well to start with, but he's doing a nice comeback at the moment. Oh, that was late, Finley. Jesus Christ. As they head towards the final corner. Well, I'm going to be on lap 26 of 29. Finley with a DRS. He should get Knighton, yes, up into turn number 1. He's got more ERS than Knighton, so this should be easy pickings as well.
Knighton's got damage as well,
Knighton's got damage as well. I think M plate missing.
Yeah, front right end plate's going on the Alpine, so he's going to be a little bit of a sitting target and see if the other AlphaTauri can come back into this race. I tell you what, they've really come back into this race since I've stopped cursing them. Right now, they're in 5th. They might get 5th and 7th for this race. They might get 5th and 6th, to be fair, if things go their way so far. Well, he's gone off. He went off the road and said that, and I think they've got to be fair, though.
They're all good. They're all good.
Yes, they're all good. Here on the outside goes Cam, and he'll get their position done. So I almost cursed them, but in fact the curse turned into a blessing, that one, because making that mistake put Knighton out to go around the outside. That didn't work, and Flexi and Cam got back up the inside. So all ends well, I suppose, in the AlphaTauri garage right now. They are now 5th and 6th. So there we go. The prophecy coming together, I might say. Meanwhile, talking of cards going up the order, there is Flexi. Now back up into 7th position. He's going to be probably quite livid in this race because he was on for a good result. Really, he's been caught out here with all the incidents. As up the inside.
Charlie Harris is off.
Oh, that's clumsy.
Contact.
That's clumsy, Knighton. And now you really caught yourself into a spot above her. Get out of the way of 1. Up the inside will come Batter. And I tell you what, it's like first day at school again. Are they going to go free abreast down towards turn number 1? Please don't try it, boys. Into turn number 1. Things better. Oh, no! Knighton, what have you done? You've hit the pair of them. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I think he's getting out of the way. I
think he's realised he shouldn't have gone for it. Fair enough. Good sportsmanship, Knight at speed. So good sportsmanship there. You realise you've done something wrong and you dropped near the back as well. So I think he's got away lightly with that one in terms of moving out the way. But a few more laps to go. Oh my God, I literally don't know what's going to happen. I think Slenderman and Kieran must be absolutely loving this because all this battling is happening behind them. Same with Iceman to some extent as well. I know, how many penalties does Iceman have? Let me have a look. He has 3, so as long as Tony doesn't catch up to him by 3/10, which could, it's actually happening right now. So, but
yeah, he's got soft.
Yeah, but the soft could die soon, to be fair. But as long as Iceman keeps the gap above 3 seconds to Tony, then he should get on the podium. But to be fair for him, Iceman will get a P4, which will be, I think it'll be a Williams P4 regardless by the looks of things. So I think we know what would happen is that the case. Slenderman has been leading for most of this race, actually, since the very start, has pretty much controlled it. Had the better getaway from J. Luke then as he makes his way towards turn and 1. Yellow flag. Charlie Harris once more, our race winner from last week. He's gone from race winner to disaster class for the Alfa Romeo driver as Speed 9 gets a penalty. He's in the pits. I won't be surprised if he calls it a day here, or if he's going to go for fastest lap to try and make sure nobody else gets it. Fair
That's
enough.
always a brave choice.
Fair enough. He's keeping going.
Shane.
Well, to be fair, it's going to be quite close between him and Harry B. So he could still get points for fastest lap.
He still get points, to be fair, if he gets on with it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But at least he's still going. Which, fair play, Pete. That's probably better than some people that were tired.
That's going off the road again. He's really not having much luck. No one likes turn 10.
No Alpine likes the track, Liam. That's probably why.
Being off it seems today. I've seen them more off than on it. Meanwhile, the two AlphaTauris still going. Oh dear. No, did I mention Knighton going for a fast lap? Well, he's in the wall, yeah. So he's
I think
dropped
that's his race over.
Yes, I think it is. Meanwhile, your race leader, lap 28 out of 29, coming on to lap 29 of 29, almost lap 29 and 99 right then. I don't think it wanted to have a 99 in that race, but meanwhile, Cam Finley together. I tell you what, is the dream for P5 and Stick still on for the AlphaTauri team? They've got Matter up.
Penalty. Matt's got no penalty, so Matter could jump the pair of them.
It might not be P5 and P6, or it might not be if they keep doing that.
P6, actually, they'll probably drop to P10 and P11, it looks like.
Yeah, it's still a possibility for some points for them, but it's not looking as good. But to be fair, it's been a strong drive for the pair of them. They have come back through this field from earlier on where they just didn't seem to have any luck, because every time I said something, they had a mistake. But they seem to have got themselves into all sorts of goodness right now, and it's coming back towards them. Tell you what, talking about people who aren't having much fun, it's Charlie Harris, who's in a different postcode around there. At the top of the circuit, he's well off the road. He's really not had much luck. Neither is Shane. So the Aston Martin and the AlphaTauris, the Alfa Romeos, both of them having a torrid afternoon instead. The Ferraris both out this race, so is the only McLaren. Whilst we've seen ups and downs throughout this field, the race can only really be won by one, and it's going to be won, of course, by Slenderman. His first race win of the season. Hasn't really had much luck before, but it's coming true this time. We mentioned it before. He could be a challenger this season. We mentioned it in round one. Finally, it's coming to fruition. Slenderman then wins in Bahrain. Kieran, P2. That is a solid job then for Sir Kibbo. Iceman across the line in P3. Tony will cross the line in P3. Iceman P4. Cam and Finley will cross the line in 7th and 9th. Matter finishes in 5th after a spin. Flexi in 6th. J-Luke 8th. Scott Bugner in 10th. Shane is off the road again. And hopefully he gets himself back going, because coming quickly will be coming Harry B. But I think that position should be Mr. Shane's position. Shane across the line. P11. Harry will cross the line. 12th Knighton ahead of Charlie, who is cruising down the back right now.
Well, at least Harry B's going to be scoring more than 1 point, because unless... Charlie Harris is not going to get fastest lap, because Harry B has got the fastest lap, so as well as getting the 1 point, he'll get 2 extra points fast laps. So overall, he gets 3 points this race. So well done, Harry B. I think him pitting late on to try and get fastest lap really worked for him. I think it probably would have been better instead of him staying out with a broken front wing.
Yeah, it definitely worked coming in the pit lane. I mean, people are going to get points. People sort of pitted maybe without hoping for a safety car, but we are just waiting for Charlie to cross the line right now, and then we will be done. So I think actually, has Charlie got no front wing? No, he's got the front wing. He's just really got no grip out there. It looks like on those soft compound tyres. He's had a few spins, and it's a little bit frustrated, I think, right now. One last race, not going to score any points this race, and that's how quickly here in VSL things can change.
And a lot of things could change at small instances, and Cam has got the fastest lap of this race. No, the driver of the day of this race, sorry. But who will be your driver of the day in comment section or in the chat? Let us know. And I've just been speaking to Slenderman in the chat, and he's very delighted. I think last week didn't go well for him, and he wanted to show that last week it was one to forget. This week was one to remember. He's kicking off his season in style. Kieran, I have to say, stellar performance as well. He kind of likes Bahrain, doesn't he? And, you know, he's an up-and-coming driver. He even said that this year, this game is his game right now as well. So I hope he does well in future Grand Prix. But we'll run through your results then for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's provisional, of course, because I'm almost certain there will be incidents to have a look at. So, Slenderman wins from Kieran, from Tony. Tony's made 3 stops and finished 3rd. He's one of my driver of the days up front there. Fair play. Iceman made 2 stops and finished 4th. So both Williams took advantage of all the carnage that happened. I don't know how Mata finished 5th, despite the spins, but he's finished 5th. Flexi in 6th, Cam in 7th. Good recovery drive from him for starting at the back. J. Luke, what could have been for him? He got very unlucky in 8th. Finley in 9th. Scott Bugner in 10th. Shaman in 11th. Harry B gets your final point and the fastest lap in 12th. Then Knighton and Charlie Harris are your final finishers. They do not score points, unfortunately. But your retirements are Yaham, Jinx, Glow Stick, Speed Josh, and Hayden Rogers. So that was the Bahrain Grand Prix. And I'm very excited about the season to come for round number 3, because if I'm not mistaken, it'll be our first sprint race, Liam.
Yes, I think it is.
Miami.
That's going to be entertaining, isn't it? Miami sprint race. That's going to be fun, and that will be in just 7 days' time. So that's going to be the thing to look forward to.
Yes, and quite a few driver of the days as well, which I will give to the whoever owns the VSL account. Probably Tony, because he's our social media man. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching Tier 1. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to all the drivers for rating. Thank you to you lot for watching at home. If you do like us, make sure you click on the thumbs up button on this video, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you are new as well. And while you're at it, make sure you check out Tier 2, which is happening. Well, it's just happened. So check that out after this one and see the action that they had to deal with as well. They're streamed every Wednesday at 8 PM as well. You can also check myself and Liam on our social medias. I'm JessGames95, and Liam, your socials, if you please.
It's Liam New Media.
There we go. So make sure you follow us. Much appreciated. And also follow the VSL Twitter account to find out more information about our season at VSL_F1. We will let you enjoy the rest of your evening. I've been Jessica Ball. Evil Dragon has been Liam New. And we will see you in 7 days' time for our first sprint weekend format for the Miami Grand Prix. See you soon. Have a good evening. Stay safe. And goodbye.